Good day, ladies and gents, and I hope you're having a good day or evening or whatever, wherever you are in the world. And welcome to this little stream. And apologies because YouTube makes it almost impossible to monitor one's channel at the same time and not repeat oneself. But there we go. As always, I'm going to start us off with the tune.
My name is O'Kelly, I've heard thee reveille from Pier to Bereilly, from Leeds to Lahore. On the Shawa, Lucknow and Athawa, and 55 more, all ended in war. Black Death and his quickness, the depth and the thickness of sorrow and sickness, I've known on my way. That I'm old and nervous, I'm cast on the service, and all I deserve is a shilling a day. A shilling a day, what a blooming good pay. Lucky to touch it, a shilling a day. Shilling a day, boys, a blooming good pay. I'm lucky to touch it, a shilling a day. Though it drives me half crazy to think of the days I went slap for the gazy, my sword at my side. And we rode out for leather, both squadrons together, that didn't care whether we lived or we died. But it's no use despairing, my wife must go sharing, and ye commissarin the pay to better. So with me you be holding the wet and the cold by the Grand Metropole, please give me a letter. Oh, give him a letter, can do no better. The troops are the major run with a letter. Give him his letter, can do no better. Late Troop Sergeant Major run with a letter. A shilling a day, what a blooming good pay. I'm lucky to touch it, a shilling a day. Shilling a day, boys, a blooming good pay. I'm lucky to touch it, a shilling a day. Shilling a day.
Okay, that was an original song by Chris Gard. Go and check out his YouTube channel. That's Chris Gard, G-A-R-D, based on a Kipling poem. And it's actually about a cavalry troop sergeant major. So the uniform's not quite right for that, Chris, next time you do one of those videos. But anyway. Okay, guys. Look, I was out earlier this evening with a couple of my mates, and we were talking about shit, as one does when you're out having a couple of beers. And one of the things I've noticed is that almost every single video on YouTube from the British Armed Forces, whether it be British, it's called Forces TV, but it's actually British Forces TV, and it's from the Ministry of Defence, and it's paid for by British taxpayers. Whether it's that, or whether it's a video from the Royal Navy, or the RAF, or the British Army, or if it's a video even from the Museum of the Royal Navy these days, what you will find is that it's just constantly anti-white propaganda. That's all you get from them all the time. Like, I haven't seen a video from British Forces TV, which is to say the YouTube channel paid for by the Ministry of Defence, paid for by British taxpayers. I have not seen a video from those dudes in months that has either not been about the most corrupt country in the world, i.e. the Ukraine, or feminist women, or LGBTQ people, or importing as many Afghans as possible into the UK. I haven't seen a video from those people in months that has not been about those things. Go to the channel of the Museum of the Royal Navy, based in Portsmouth. Great museum, by the way. Go and visit HMS Victory and HMS Warrior and all that stuff down there. Do go and do that. It's great. But go and watch their videos, and they'll put up thumbnails where the only men in the thumbnail, and there are several, are black. Or they'll go and do a video where all the people walking around the museum are Indian. Like, again, this is supposed to be the Museum of the Royal Navy. Now, forgive me for saying so, but as far as I'm aware, Britain is still something like 85% white Anglo-Celtic nation. So what is this about? You can go to the Museum of Wales, and you can see the great hero of the Napoleonic Wars for Britain, Sir Thomas Picton, being destroyed because of a very tiny minority of non-Welsh people in Wales who want that to happen. You can go and watch videos from the Royal Navy, from the actual Royal Navy, where you will see always black people highlighted, women highlighted, not straight white men ever, who are the backbone of the Royal Navy and all the British Armed Forces, of course. But you'll go and see that, and you can watch a video indeed that came out recently from the Royal Navy with 2 British warships who are deployed in the Pacific, and halfway through the video, that one of the sailors, for no reason whatsoever, tells you how to get hold of a bullying helpline, or bullying, or whatever nonsense the lefties call it these days. Who runs these channels? Rise of the Right, you are wrong. You are wrong. Absolutely wrong. 1960s, it would have been over 90%. All right? So fuck that. Excuse me. Like I said, this is a slightly drunk stream. I've been drinking all evening. But honestly, I'm just getting sick of this shit. The Royal Navy put out a video, I don't know what, maybe a month ago, where they were going on about the London Pride Parade, and I was happy to see it got heavily ratioed. Like, far more people downvoted it than upvoted it. And by the way, if you think YouTube's got rid of downvotes, there are apps you can get for both DuckDuckGo and Google that will allow you to see what the real number of downvotes is, which I have, of course. But anyway, I'm just sick of it, guys. The backbone of the British Armed Forces is, always has been, always will be, straight white men. And do you know who they despise these days? Straight white men. The RAF recently has had to do a pause on recruiting straight white men because too many straight white men are joining the RAF compared to feminist women, LGBTQ types, and foreigner immigrants. Why? Again, why? The backbone of the British Armed Forces is, and always will be, Anglo-Celtic straight white men. Sorry, just always will be. When we did good, that's why we did good. Do you know, huge, over the last, I don't know, 25 years, hugely, like, and I'm talking about like 500% more so-called, in inverted commas, British Muslims joined the Islamic State, which is a terrorist slaving state. You know, like they enslave women of other races and groups. Not even other races, just other groups. That's what the Islamic State does. Over 500% of so-called, in inverted commas, British Muslims join the Islamic State more than join the British Armed Forces. Hardly any Muslims ever join the British Armed Forces. It's extremely rare. And anyone who tells you different is trying to con you. It's ridiculous. Rise of the Right, all right, calm down. Fuck me, honestly. Do your own videos. Then you can tell people what to do. I'm not interested in what you say in the chat, you silly bastard. I've been doing this shit for years now. So, alright. Next thing you'll be telling me is how wonderful Adolf was, which I also don't agree with. Not that Stalin was any better, because he was not. But there you go. Or Mao. But yeah, I don't know. I just get fed up with these constant videos that are coming out from the British Armed Forces that have nothing to do with the British Armed Forces, really. They're just lies. And what I would like to know is who in the British Armed Forces and the British government is allowing this to happen and doesn't stop it. Because, you know, let's not fool ourselves. Do you think that if someone really didn't like this, they couldn't turn around and say, yeah, I don't want it anymore, and you need to stop that? Because that's the truth, but it ain't happening. Because we're facing a government in Britain, also in Australia, also in America, all around the world at the moment, in the Western world, who are basically incompetent traitors. They hate the real people of their nations, and they want them gone and destroyed. This is why you get all this live in the pod and eat the bug stuff. That is what they want for you. They want you to be 21st century serfs. But at the same time, you get people in America and in Britain who would like to, it seems to me, start a war with Russia for no reason whatsoever, because Russia is in no way really an enemy of Britain. You know, Russia's a land power, Britain's a naval power insofar as it's a power at all. Rise of the Right. So fuck off then. Go away. That's fine. Don't care. Anyway, Russia's a land power. UK, insofar as it's a power at all, is a naval power. And there's no reason for us to be enemies. China, they want us to fight China. None of the people in charge of the British government or the American government, as far as I can work out, are willing to spend the money on increasing their defense forces to be able to do that. But, you know, Rise of the Right, you're slurring, mate. Rise of the Right, here you go. This is what you get. You are gone, sir. See ya. All right. But, so yeah, I just don't know. What are these people planning? You know, they won, I think, the winter coming up is going to be horrendous in UK and Europe. I think old age pensioners are going to be dying left, right, and centre because they can't afford to heat their homes. I think we're going into, well, we certainly are going into a recession, but I think it might turn into a depression. Interest rates are going to go through the roof. And, what I actually, to some degree, think may happen, and it might not even be a totally bad thing, is that diversity, in inverted commas, may show its true colors in Britain this winter. And maybe that will help us. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Anyway, this was not going to be a long stream. I just wanted to point out, like, every single video coming out of the British Armed Forces at the moment is politically correct and anti-white. Every single one of them, with no exceptions. Joshua, Duke, do you think young Englishmen could still benefit from joining the armed forces in this current state? I have to tell you, if I was 18 today, I would not join the British Armed Forces. On the other hand, as a young Brit, if you do join the armed forces, I mean, you learn about firearms, you learn about tactics and stuff like that. You, more importantly, you learn about self-discipline and being a good chap. So yeah, there's that. I'm kind of torn about it. If I was 18 today, like when I joined the British Army in the early 1980s, just after the Falklands War, I was Army Barney, But the British Army of today is not the British Army of 1983 at all. And anyone who thinks it is a fool. Look, it makes me very, very sad, but I don't know what to say about it. There was no conscription when I joined the army, remember. I joined as a volunteer. Darth Kill. I don't even disagree with that, mate. I don't, but like, quite the Americans I do like are mostly guys who have served in the military, so yeah, that's all I'd say to that one. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to point out that, like, every single British Armed Forces video that comes out on YouTube, and this has been the case for all of this year, has been either pro the most corrupt nation in Europe, one of the most corrupt nations in the world, i.e. the Ukraine, which is a center for the sex slave traffic, where young teenage girls get lured into prostitution around the world. And Ukraine is, as well as that, Ukraine is the center for the babies for cash trade. Which, I mean, obviously means that they're very heroic, somehow democratic nation, and democracy. Let's be honest, guys. Democracy is a con. If democracy was not a con, then mass immigration to the UK would have stopped 60 years ago, because the British people have always been against it. It's just a lie, It just is. It's a lie. But yeah. So yeah, I look, every British Armed Forces video I've seen for months now has been pro one of the most corrupt nations in the world, i.e. the Ukraine, or it's been pro feminists or LGBTQ people, or it's been pro immigrants who are not really British. So, I don't know. I mean, I joined the British Armed Forces because I like the old fabulous Union flag and all the great stories of daring do from the 500 years before I joined them. But today, it's like everything about that is hated. So that's just what I think. All right, boys. I think I've probably said what I wanted to say, really. So I'll play us out with a tune. This is another good one, by the way.
went into a public house to get a pint of beer. The publican he up and says we serve no red coats here. The girl behind the bar they laughed and giggled fit to die. I out into the street again and to myself says I, oh it's Tommy this and Tommy that and Tommy go away. But it's thank you Mr. Atkins when the band begins to play. When the band begins to play, my boys, the band begins to play. Oh it's thank you Mr. Atkins when the band begins to play. I went into a theatre as sober as could be. They gave a drunk civilian room and had not none for me. They sent me to the gallery around the music halls. But when it comes to fighting, Lord, they'll push me in the stalls. For it's Tommy this and Tommy that and Tommy right outside. With a special train for Atkins when the troopers on the tide. When the troopers on the tide, my boys, the troopers on the tide. Oh, a special train for Atkins when the troopers on the tide. You're speaking of mocha uniforms, the card you in your sleeve is cheaper than the uniforms, and by Christ they're cheap. And hustling drunken sailors when they're going large a bit is a muchly better business than parading in full kit. Then it's Tommy this and Tommy that and Tommy else your soul. But it's secret line of heroes when the drums begin to roll. When the drums begin to roll, my boys, the drums begin to roll. Oh, I think the night of heroes when the drums begin to roll. We aren't nothing but heroes, well that much is true. But single men in power, it's remarkable that you. And if sometimes our conduct isn't all your fancy pains, why single men in barracks don't grow into foster saints. Well it's Tommy this and Tommy that and Tommy go behind. Let us please go walk in concert when there's trouble in the wine. Well there's trouble in the wine, my boy, there's trouble in the wine. Oh it's please go walk in concert when there's trouble in the wine. You talk a better food for us, the schools and for all. We'll wait for extra ration if you treat us rational. Don't mess about the cookery stuff to prove it to our face. The widow's uniform is not the soldier man's disgrace. For it's Tommy this and Tommy that and chucking out the brute. But it's savior of his country when the kids begin to shoot. And it's Tommy this and Tommy that and anything you please. And Tommy ain't the blue and all you bet that Tommy sees.
Okay, that was Chris Gard. Please go and subscribe to his channel. With Tommy, which was another original song from a Roger R. Kipling poem. All right, guys, this was only ever going to be a short stream, so I just thought I'd point out that like all of the British Armed Forces stuff that's coming on YouTube these days is basically anti-Anglo-Celtic British and certainly anti-straight white Anglo-Celtic British men. We'll be back. Oh, I'll be back, I hope. Well, I'll be back certainly on Saturday evening, UK time, with our next Splendid Isolation stream. Don't forget to like the stream because it helps, and also please subscribe to the channel for more content. And in the meantime, go well, ladies and gents.